What is good, everyone? How are y'all doing? It is the Crooked Commish here, presented with the Chicago Clubhouse Network. Here to talk some fantasy football with you guys, as we are here every Monday night, along with watch the Monday Night Football game between the Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos. So thank you all for joining us. If you're here, please hit that like button. We really would appreciate that. Help us reach to a bigger audience and whatnot. So we really appreciate any and all love we can get. Like I said, Crooked Commish is here. Obviously, we have the Mouse from the Bay joining me in a few minutes as well. We are going to go over all the injuries that happened this week as well. We do have a lot of them. And then we'll lead up to talk about what's going on coming up next, because we do have the playoffs coming up. Yes, I did say fantasy football playoffs coming up. So stick with us as we go ahead and kick the show off. Let's go. What is good, everyone? Hopefully everyone had a good and safe holiday. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you. Please hit that thumbs up button if you're here with us. But if you're like me, you definitely got plenty to eat. So the food was good. The company was good. So happy to hear that you all are safe and ready to get back at it with this fantasy football games. It's getting serious. Second season of fantasy. And kind of the thing I've been saying throughout this whole time with fantasy, the key thing is you need to evolve. You need to evolve with the season. There's a lot of injuries that come along. There's a lot of guys that you invested early into the drafts that you're hoping to be your stud guy that you're going to be riding into the fantasy playoffs with. And of course, sometimes things don't always go according to plan. And you have to evolve with the season. You have to make adjustments. And like I said, think on the fly here and trying to hit the waiver wire. Look at trade options with your fellow league mates and stuff. Try and pick off maybe some good players on a team that's on the way out or not doing so good. So maybe they're in a little bit more desperate situation than you happen to be in. So, but with all that being said, like I said, please drop any questions or comments. Let us know what your record is. I would love to know what your win-loss record is. The Crooked Commish here. In one league, I am 9-3. And if the Broncos kicker doesn't have a crazy game, then I should go over to 10-3 and hold on to my first place ring there. And then in the other league, I am clinging on for dear life, trying to scrap and get that last fantasy spot there. So thank you for the comments coming in. I do see them coming in. As soon as my co-host is in here, I will go ahead and share the comment with him. So, but like I said, let's take a look at some of the injuries that have hit us so far, maybe hit your team. Hopefully not, but we'll see here. Let us know. So the major injury, we'll save that here in a minute, but one of the key injuries that came up with a guy who was pretty versatile, Taysom Hill, messes up his ACL, is put on the IR, and more than likely will be done for the season. This guy was a flex guy because it's not like you could really count on him to be your week in, week out quarterback or running back or even tight end. You know, the nice spot about this guy is, like I said, you could have multiple options where you could slot him in at. but he is a boomer bust type of guy. He was a guy that either you're going to get 20, maybe 18 points with, or you're going to get 2 to 3 points with, and sometimes even 0. So Taysom Hill, like I said, ends up messing up his knee, so he is out for the season. Means more love for Alvin Kamara owners. Like I said, he was a guy that took a lot of volume, a lot of things, goal line touches away from you. So hopefully now you don't have to worry about that as much, which is perfect timing as we're getting into these playoffs. You need a guy like Kamara to get all the type of catches that he can get and all the type of end zone, red zone action that he can get as well. So let me go ahead and bring in my co-host. He is the mouth from the Bay, and he's definitely the loudest mouth in fantasy football. So bring him in, the mouth.
There we go. How are we doing, people?
Hey,
right. I was running around,
good.
Little late night stuff, but
No, it's all good, man. Thank you for joining us. How's the holidays treat you?
A lot better than McCaffrey did, So it kind of sucked. He kind of held my fucking season hostage, and then he fucked it off. I mean, I all the prayers and everything, speedy recovery. I needed this guy to come back, and when he came back, he didn't do everything he was supposed to. But that's fucking football. This is real life people that we're playing real life games off of, and homeboy didn't look good, and he went down, and that shit sucked because I'm about to lose to someone who hasn't done shit all year in our freaking at one of our leagues.
What's there in the comments? Packers got that ass, whooped that ass on the 49ers. Whiners.
Yeah. You know what, Brian?
I
need you to go back. I need you to go back and look at when you lost the playoffs last year and shut the fuck up. Okay. And then look at when Aaron Rodgers was getting his ass run the fuck out of town, all these against Niners, and then continue to shut the fuck up. So, but nothing but love, Brian. I love you.
Take that jersey off. You lost to my Packers, he said.
You know what? Come get this jersey off me. It's a shirt, not a jersey. So get your fucking,
Brandon,
get your bifocals fucking fixed.
Thank you for showing some love here. I know diehard Bears fans, Brandon. I know, like I said, fantasy football maybe is not your forte, but thank you for dropping in and showing some love. I really do appreciate
Absolutely.
Here at Chicago.
And Brian, thank you too. Even though you're talking shit, I appreciate you. But go back in history and look at all the times we whooped your ass in the playoffs. Okay, only team we whooped out more out of the playoffs is the fucking Cowboys, which I love seeing. I'm upset that we can't see you two teams again and whoop you guys' ass out the fucking playoffs again. But this is fantasy, not regular. But either way, I still love it. But this year it's a down year, so I expect all the hate to come. That's
I think it's safe to say that
your team makes it and doesn't win or does anything. I'm like, but your team hasn't been relevant since the fucking '60s, so fuck off.
I think Brian is more interested in talking about recent history instead of ancient history. So that's the one more relevant.
It's been the last 10 years. Recently, we whooped their ass a lot. So, that's if you want to talk shit. That's playoffs. That's playoff time. Like I don't got the shit in front of me to tell them. But recently, last year, we knocked you guys that ass off the fuck out. So. Jordan Love was going to go get a bunch of fucking hugs.
Niners got enough guys on IR that the Bears might actually have a chance. This is rivalry week between us two here.
Yes. You know
it's
what?
It's going to be very interesting watching the game together this Sunday.
To be honest, it was a double blow to lose not only McCaffrey, but to lose Jordan Mason too. That fucking hurt. Like, holy shit. But, Isaac Guendo, fuck. If there's never another year, next man up. Rookies has been what we're doing. We've been playing Jair Brown and Mustafa in the back end after Bufunga went down. And we haven't had Greenlaw all year.
McCaffrey, he was one of the guys here that I wanted to bring up here. Here's out for the season. It looks like it was a PCL that when he fell on his knee there, got up, tried to go for one more play, and then they did a sweep play, and then he kind of just took it easy, kind of.
He was dumb. When he went down and he slid, he ran up the field right away. And that was he went. If I could have dropped him right there on our league, I would have dropped him right there on our league. But now, there's rules. There's rules to this shit. But it sucked. But that hurt.
Brandon, that was a good game. That monsoon game, we actually bet on that game, and I got a case of beer for that game. So that was the Trey Lance rookie game versus Justin Fields, more or less rookie game. I believe that was. So that was a good sloppy game for us. But I wanted to ask you though, with fantasy wise, with McCaffrey, were you at all tempted to trade him? I know in one league he was your keeper.
Never.
No, like
I held on to him the whole year, thinking that when he came back, that I knew it would take like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. So I was just trying to stay relevant in our playoff, situation, and just be like an 8th or 7th seed, because obviously shit didn't work very well for me, and my number one fucking pick was pretty much shit the whole year. But I did have Jordan Mason for most of it, because I did double back and I paid attention. Like, okay,
hi Isabella,
there's a good chance. Hello. I was like, but
that was cute.
I was like, yeah, you're welcome. I was like, but either way, I was like, Jordan Mason's out now too, so Isaac Window. And what sucks is like I'm like 11th in the waiver wire, so I'm pretty sure someone else is gonna pick his ass up, because there's still 5 weeks left. There's only a few weeks left in our fantasy, but
yeah, the playoffs are fantasy playoffs are literally around
it's one of those things, like it's keep away status now. Like if you're somewhere in that position where you don't need them, but I could take them away from someone else, I'd absolutely do the same thing. If I'm 1, 2, or 3, 4, and I know someone who might need that guy that's in the bottom half of a waiver wire. Obviously there's no more trades now, so if you're not picking someone up on waivers, you're not getting no one. So I would fucking block someone at the bottom just to piss them off, and I don't give a shit. I would do it all day long.
That is definitely your style for sure.
I would do it. Like if I can get 3 people off the fucking waiver wire, if it didn't reset my ass, I would do it.
Good. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. That if you want to win, that's part of the game. That is literally part of the game. That is
the game. That is the game.
With all these injuries that happen any given damn week, you never know when you might need that guy. Yeah. So it's always good to have a bag of riches. Yes. So
especially now, you would hope that during the year you've kind of like built some kind of a bench. Especially this next week. This next week's gonna suck, because once again, we were talking about it. There's about 5 or 6 teams again that are gonna go on waiver. Are gonna go on bye.
What's going on?
Gene Campo.
Bear down. So yeah, no, there is going to be guys going on by. Let's take a look at that real quick. The teams that are going on by this week here. Let's see, it's 6 of them. This is the last of them. It was a funky schedule this year of teams going on a bye. You have Baltimore, you have Denver, you have Houston, you have the Colts, you have the Patriots, and then you have Washington, the Commanders. They're going on a bye. So 6 teams on a bye. After last week, we had no teams on a bye. But I guess that was because of the holiday weekend.
Holidays, yes.
Yeah, so
it made sense.
Like I said, Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix there, the Zay Flowers, the Nico Collins, or CJ Stroud's is gone, the Anthony Richardsons, and Michael Pittman and stuff, and Jalen Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who are going to be looking for waiver wire pickups and everything. And if you're at the bottom of waiver wire, I hope you have a bench, and I hope your bench isn't on the fucking bye, because if not,
pray for you.
You're going to be doing a lot like how Jay and the Cage was a few weeks ago, and just picking Hunter Henry or Schultz, whatever, at the very last second, whoever the fuck. flip a fucking coin and hope they work out.
Pretty much. Because I mean, like, you can't, like, these guys are on the free agent list for a reason. They literally are, like, they haven't been producing at a consistent level at all. And that's the thing that you need most in fantasy is guys that are there week in, week out. Everyone's going to have their off weeks, here and there, but you need the guys that are at least consistently giving you double digits.
Hold on. So, talking about every week, can we talk about the fall of Tucker? Like, that is insane.
No kidding.
Like, I mean,
Justin Tucker, the kicker for
Justin
Baltimore,
Tucker. Yes. Like, because I know we normally do a bunch of like defenses and everything else we were doing. We didn't do kickers, but I just want to talk about how bad this year has been for him. Someone who's a borderline, if not, it should be a Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame kicker, is having drop off, hit the fucking wall type of year, and then Detroit finds a guy from the XFL, whatever, guy who's kicking right there, and is a fucking beast. Who the fuck is this kid? I mean, everybody's kicking, 50 plus yarders, but this guy's kicking 57, 58, 60 yarders. Like, it ain't shit. Like, even he missed one. Yeah,
Minnesota picked up a kicker too, and that hasn't missed. Well, he missed recently this past game, but he made his first 10 kicks in a row.
He was like, it was insane too.
Fuck.
Yeah, like Anders Carlson for the Niners was actually kind of doing better than Jake Moody, who got fucking drafted. It's like, like,
I like this comment here. Tucker has missed everything. Maybe he should stick to opera.
That's fucked up. Okay, that's fucked up. But I mean, literally, the guy was the most accurate kicker in NFL history, and then he missed like all these kicks this year. And then Joel Pinheiro, if you fucking want to know that, was been the next accurate kicker. Yeah, okay. And he has 300 less kicks in NFL career. So that is fucked. I mean, I'm just saying that is fucked.
Tucker. Tucker's had him.
Tucker has not looked
fuck up though. So I mean, if you look at it that way.
Yes, and he hasn't. So until this year, and you're like 17 or 18, where the fuck he's in. I don't care. Like, he's literally an inventory, like, just crazy next level error of someone who's just done it for so long, so good. And it's crazy to see this year how I want to see if they're going to like squeeze the goalpost somehow and do something different, because they made the extra point long. They made the extra point longer on purpose because it was getting too easy. So they wanted to see some misses there. I'm going to get really curious if they want to like actually close the field goal a little bit, because when you're hitting like
either that or 60 yarders worth 3 points or 4 points.
The Patriots kicker almost kicked a 68 fucking yarder that was online, but it was 68 fucking yards. Like, he missed it by a yard or two, and not by, I mean, and I don't even know if it was that much. Like, and who the fuck knows who fucking Sly is from the Patriots? That's insane. We're talking about kickers right now, who are becoming viable weapons in the NFL. When you can kick a fucking 58 yarder at any given time, that's insane. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, when you were kicking 50 yarders like 10 years ago, it was crazy. But just like baseball, when everybody's throwing a fucking 100 now kickers are fucking kicking 60 yarders like it's a fucking thing.
Like it's a 40 yarder.
Yeah.
But
and then they miss the extra point. It's like, and then they miss the extra point.
So let's move on with the next injury guy here. He got injured last week, but Austin Eckler, he went ahead and moved on to the IR. Concussions are always just a pain in the ass to deal with. You can't. There's no playbook on how to deal with them and how to be like, oh, okay, like an MCL sprain. You'd be like, okay, that's a 46-week thing or some shit.
Especially if you have multiple ones. Like, I don't know his concussion history, but the good thing is that the NFL is actually taking a pretty good stance on making sure that people who even look woozy, they call them down right away and they sit their ass to the side and make them go into that blue tent and get just get checked
Mhm.
out. Which is it's in we don't want people in 10 or 15, 20 years from now doing crazy shit or getting Alzheimer's when they're 45. That's
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of car crashes happening on those fields, especially as a running back. I mean, all you're doing is just smashing into guys that are like 3, 4 times your size.
So
So
speaking of car crashes, there was one that happened on the field this Sunday. Here, let's take a look at this real quick.
I mean, this is just everything. Shoulder. He's in the sliding posture. There's a launch. You raise the forearm. You go to the head and neck area.
A horrible-looking play in Jacksonville. Azeez Al-Shaair ejected.
There's an opportunity
immediately.
to
There
pull
might be
off.
some more discipline. What you're watching here happened about 3 minutes ago. We wanted to bring it to you relatively in its entirety so you could see what happened. And clearly, it happened in front of the Jacksonville bench. The Jacksonville offensive players who were on the field on that play immediately trying to enact their...
Dirty hit. What do you think?
if I was Evan Ingram, he was the first one in there, I would have kicked him with my cleats in his fucking side. And then I would have run over him and I would have ripped his fucking helmet the fuck off. Understand?
You may have done something like that.
No, he didn't do any of that. He just went up there and pushed him like a little bitch.
Well, he got ejected. So I mean,
no. Number 22 got ejected, and he was a cornerback on the sideline. He went after Al-Shaair. Understand? I love Al-Shaair. He's a former Niner. I missed him when he left, and I love that he went to the Texans with D'Amico, with Coach D'Amico. That said, that was an absolutely brutal, fucking dirty play. Like they said, he's seen him sliding. He could have fucking went over the top and just hit him with his chest, and it might have still been a penalty, but it wouldn't have been that bad.
it wouldn't have been.
He double forearmed that dude in the chest, in his neck, everything. He tried to take him out. It was a game at that time where he understood, if I take the quarterback out, we might win this game. It's one of those things where I go, he goes. Like, I'm willing to go. That's why he got so pissed off at the end when one of the other guys, he took his helmet off finally at the end and tried to go after someone. It's like, at that point, you're just wrong. You're wrong. That was a horrible play. If I would have been Aaron Ingram, I would have cleated his ass in the side of his fucking ribs. I would have ripped his fucking helmet off. I would have got thrown the fuck out. I would have got thrown the fuck out of that game. I would have went over there, would have kicked his ass, fucking went there, and just yanked his fucking helmet the fuck off. Chin strap, I would actually would have pumped the strap there. That was horrible play. Horrible play. That does not belong in the NFL whatsoever.
Well, like I said, obviously you had guys on his defensive team, his defensive teammates, giving him shit and just kind of being like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
What did you do?
Like, why? Like, it's not even like Trevor Lawrence was even having like an MVP type of season or like a really like lighten it up that game to be like, okay,
but it doesn't even matter though.
That's why it's just like
it could have been the second, third string, whoever quarterback. It isn't like, I mean, it's worse because it's Trevor Lawrence and he has a name and he's gotten paid, so obviously you're gonna make it ESPN really bad. But it could have been running back who were just sliding down right there or a wide receiver and he's coming over the middle. Al-Shaair, I hate to say it, has already had a few of these penalties over this year. He's already. I've seen a couple of games.
with him.
I've seen him take a couple people's heads off, and I was watching Prime earlier, and one of the guys asked, Adam Schefter, when it comes to his suspension, is his history something you have to take into consideration? And unfortunately for him, he's been someone who's done this a few times this year, and not in the past, but this year. So he's been flagged for penalties. Who, honestly, I thought he was going to get kicked out, but they left him in the game. And like I said, I love the guy because he's a former Niner. and I seen him. I know he's a baller. I know he's out there for his team. I don't think that he was doing it on purpose, but the intensity and the way you've already been coached at this point in time now. At this point in time now, you don't get no leeway. Like, you've been coached, you've been told, you understand the penalties, you understand the situation when you do something like that. So I think you should get 3 games. To be honest, I think you should get 3 games suspended. Like, I think that there should be heavy suspension. Not so much a fine, because taking a guy's $1 million of money kind of sucks, but taking his play time away, that's what hurts more. That's what hurts more, because
away his money too, because they get paid on those game checks. So if he misses,
games, but that's my point though. Money, so. That's my point. Like, taking $50,000 from him is one thing, but taking those 3 game paychecks, and on top of it, that he don't have 10 or whatever, 30 more tackles, an interception, so he can pump that shit up, that hurts way more. Okay. Like, I hate to say, like, I don't think Algiers is a dirty player. I don't. But that was uncalled.
That was a dirty hit.
It was a dirty hit.
So, okay. Well, let's move on to the guy that's definitely going to be missed if he's one of the guys that's on your fantasy team. J.K. Dobbins, sprained MCL, IR, week 17. So that's maybe the championship game. If you make it that far, and then even if then, like, how comfortable do you feel playing him that last game? He comes back. That's essentially done for the fantasy.
He's done, and it sucks because, like, if you even had Gus Edwards didn't look good either this last game. You thought he would have, like, jumped in and did whatever, but J.K. Dobbins was having a year. He really was having a year. So that sucks.
Do you think there's any chance that Gus Edwards heats up? Like, maybe this is just slow start, but and then takes a little while to get the rust off of him?
The good thing is that there's no one else on that backfield that's going to step up or going to take his his touches away. And Harbaugh has always been someone who wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball. He wants to dominate the line, and he wants to go off play action passes and do stuff. And Len McConkey is someone who's been showing the fuck up the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson needs to go fucking find a fucking wherever the fuck he's at and just go sit there and just go drink his Mai Tais, because he's already in the off season. His ass wants to drop every ball he gets thrown his way. So
he's had career games. He's having a career season. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he's like, deuces, like, I'm good, man. He's like,
and it sucks. His career season is a horrible season. So that should tell you something, okay? Right. Because the last 2 games, he had about 7 drop passes that could have won the last game and made this little game a lot better for him. So I'm sorry, but like, if it wasn't for everybody, pretty much if it wasn't for the team just fucking it off, like that's just the way it was. Like,
well, stick with this, guys. We're gonna go ahead. We'll talk about the rest of the injuries. We're gonna pay some bills real quick, and then when we get back, we're gonna break down the rest of the injuries, and then talk a little bit more about, like I said, what to expect for the playoffs. Here to answer any questions you may have. Like I said, let us know what your win-loss record is. How are you ready in the playoffs? Brag a little if you feel good. So,
hey, Brian, if you're still there, your team's going in the first round. Fuck you.
Stick with us.
Standards prevail. when excellent craftsmanship was displayed and treated with the utmost importance. Acquire the crisp, refreshing taste of Moore's Beer. Moore's Beer. Raise your standards.
Sorry, that's.
Thank you. Thank you to Moore's Beers, to our sponsor, Fantasy Jocks, as well. Any other commissioners out there? I know I'm not the only one, but maybe you're not as crooked as me.
If more Beers wants to send me a 6-pack so I can sample it, so I can be on TV with the 6-pack next to me, it'd be cool. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll have to arrange a way and figure out a way to do that, so we can go ahead and get that on the show here.
I mean,
but
I don't know. We're in Phoenix. I don't know where Moore's Beers is at out here, but I would definitely drink some.
Well, it's a Chicago beer. It's a beer based out of Chicago.
That's my point. If they want, like, anybody on the main TV, on their main show, want to send me some Moore's Beer, I'll drink it and I'll support.
Look at Mouth on here begging for some beer. Jeez.
I don't get a beg. I'm just here trying to, like, I can only do so much of this shit, but I can do it with the Moore's Beer. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
No. Well, like I said, there's a few different flavors over there. So if you're in the Chicago area, go ahead and look for Moore's Beer. Check them out. We also want to, like I said, thank Fantasy Jocks. Fantasy Jocks, thank you so much. Any commissioners out there that also,
I'm gonna be wearing that belt real soon. Maybe not in the other, because I'm pretty.
I don't think it's your size. I don't think they have belts, your size there. All right, so
I just put it on my shoulder. Then put it on my shoulder. It's a nice shoulder. It's a nice shoulder.
Old guy like you, that may hurt your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, you may get a shoulder strain. And then we'll see you on this injured list, just like this guy right here, DK Metcalf. We'll talk about that later. So DK Metcalf sprained MCL as well. Doesn't seem to be as serious. He is out only to week 14, so he should be back here this next week. Good. Also, he must be on your team if you're liking that Metcalf isn't going to be out.
No, he just a seacock. So I mean, I'm always going to hate.
Gotcha.
Anybody who has them, good. I mean, like, hello, I'm wearing the shirt, dog. I don't like anything that's doing with sea hats. Fuck those guys.
It's nothing.
And they're in first place.
Personal though.
It's not personal. I mean, I just hate it. I just hate him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's someone that you had on your team, your fantasy.
Oh,
team,
no.
I know. There's been in the past where you drafted like a Rams guy, or you've had like a.
Well, I mean, I had. Hold on.
I mean? Like, come on.
I have Puka on my team, but I hate the Rams less than I hate the Cardinals and the Seahawks. The Seahawks, I can't stand. I haven't. I mean, ever since Legion of Boom, I was fucking done with them. So it's been about like a 15 year of fuck you. What makes it worse because Uncle Sherm goes on there and actually talks, good about the Niners. So I mean, and he's like one of the legit Legion of Boom people. I'm like, God damn.
So
I hate it.
Niners, does that feel like a little?
No. He talks good. He talks good. Uncle Sherm talks good, but I hate him because I only see a Seattle Seacock. So.
Well, he's mad at you guys for putting a sorry ass receiver on him like Michael Crabtree.
That was true.
Like Crabtree.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like I would have threw it to fucking Randy Moss. Whatever. Fuck.
He was feeling a certain way, so
he did, and I hated him ever since.
So there's something that's been happening a lot. Or quite a bit so far this season is teams getting rid of their coaches mid-season. Like I said, my team, the Bears, being one of them, that happened over this Thanksgiving weekend. Did something that has never happened in their 100+ years of existence, and firing a coach mid-season. It's always been something that kind of kicked that can down the road.
Bro.
So,
I mean, that kind of needed to happen. And I watched some of the podcast after that, like, because I got some alerts, and I never seen anybody rejoice so happily. That was just insane.
Dude, it was
I
like
mean,
a
honestly,
moment.
after that weekend where it was like the worst weekend for everything to be like last second, let's figure this out. To be honest, only thing worse to be a Chicago fan right now is to be a Raider fan. Like, I mean, I don't know how bad you can just fuck off the last 30 seconds of a game. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So going back to my Bears there with the coach Matt Eberflus, it was the game where they had the field goal blocked against Green Bay, and they talked about, hey, why didn't you had more time? Why didn't you run the ball a bit more to try to get some more yards and whatnot? And his big thing was
excuse.
no. So hold on. So he's like, yeah, well, if you do that, you risk the chance of maybe committing a penalty. So then you go back further, or maybe your players fumble the ball, or maybe something bad could happen. So that's why we felt comfortable where we're at, ran the clock out, kicked it, but we all saw the results. So now going back to this thing, they have time. They're at the 25-yard line already, so they're in field goal range to tie the game. They try to run a play and they get a penalty, so they go back 5 yards or whatever, 10 yards. Then they run the play and Caleb takes a sack, and now they're completely out of field goal range. So it's almost like he spoke that into existence, or like what he said here a few weeks ago played out now this past week, and it was just like, dude. But it's like, how that's a good coach cleans all that shit up during practice, making sure that fucking shit does not happen to the game, So so it was so bizarre to kind of see that moment, see it actually happening, and then
come back the next week or the week or two later. I mean,
so
that's
it was time for him to go. It was time for him to go. As a Bears fan, though, I was super surprised that it did happen. Didn't think they were going to have the balls to do that shit, but I'm happy that it did happen. So,
I mean, so who do you think comes in now? Obviously, you have no one on staff. Another question is, do you think Poles keeps the GM job?
I think Poles is kind of on his last year. So a lot of things go into play with it, I think. So now the head coach is the guy that's the offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. So this guy's got to be like the luckiest guy here. I mean, he's gotten 2 promotions in less than 1 month, because he was a wide receivers coach. He got promoted to the offensive coordinator, and then a week or so later, now he's a head coach. So hopefully he gets a bit of a pay bump with that as well. But
I doubt that. He's probably going to get fired pretty soon.
Well, so this is the thing here. So not expecting a whole lot. The offense has looked better ever since he's taken over the play call.
He took over, yeah.
So Caleb's looked better, still taking care of the ball. He's thrown some questionable. He's thrown some passes that could have definitely been intercepted.
The crazy thing is that the defenses look worse though. Even with Eberflus still there.
Yes, no, the defense has looked a lot worse. So and that's the thing I think that also you have to kind of let him go, is because the defense, especially the run defense, has become non-existent. They've been getting gashed for 8 or 10 yards at a time, and then sometimes it just completely busts open, and they're there's a 30-yard run right down the middle there. So I had the defense there with the Bears in the beginning of the season because they were solid there for a minute. But then I eventually had to drop them because they were just giving up way too many yards, way too many points and stuff. So, but Mouth had to go to the bathroom there real quick. But anyways, having the Bears defense and stuff, like I said, was definitely becoming a liability. So I had to get rid of them. Anybody that has a defense to where all of a sudden you're giving up a shit ton of yards like that, you can't do it. It ends up costing you points. So, but I'm happy that the Bears have moved on from Eberflus and now Thomas Brown is now the coach. He gave me a lot of Mike Tomlin type of vibes, in the way that he handles a press conference, the way that he kind of like answers questions and whatnot, and speaks to his players and addresses his players, what he expects to get out of his players, and what he's willing to tolerate and what he's not willing to tolerate as well. It seemed like one of the big issues with the Bears' last regime was that they didn't, the offensive coordinator wasn't very effective in communicating with his players. When you have your players kind of telling you as a coach that you need to coach us harder, that's never a good sign. You know, whenever you're on the sidelines and you have your play sheet like this and you're doing your play calling and your paper's shaking like that, that's never really a good sign. So, but like I said, at least going forward, I'm confident that the Bears will be able to kind of put together a better game plan going forward. So, you all good?
Yeah, I had to kick a little kid out of the room. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
It was like,
So
I love my little mascot, but she was being a pain in the ass. So I had to go out there and go lay it all down a little bit and tell him, get the fuck out of my room. Because,
it's all good.
you know, it is what it is. But, like, you know what? I had an interesting thing where we talk about your head coach. Like, so I know we're getting off topic here because it's not fantasy stuff, but what do you think about, like, people trying to fire, like, or, you know, throw up the smokestack about Shanahan getting let go? Like, that he's had his time, you know.
Right.
We got
The
really
message
close,
has
but we didn't
failed.
get there, type of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we had one bad year where everybody got hurt before, and then we went on 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl run. Obviously, every time we went to the fucking Super Bowl, it's fucking Kansas City. So, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, you're running into probably this generation's fucking, you know, Michael Jordan, Kobe, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
The Patriots, this generation's the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean,
you're running into Goliath. They're Goliath.
You're running into the Goliath. Like, how do you feel about, like, you know, objectively, about, like, my team thinking about looking for a new head coach? Because to me, I think it's insane. To me, that's crazy. Yes, we haven't got there. We haven't made the fucking mountaintop, but shit, it's hard to fucking bet against someone who's been to 4 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls in basically 8 years, including this year.
Right.
And say that he's just a shitty head coach.
I'm a little surprised on that. Like, I think that would be a mistake on your guys' end if you guys were to go ahead and move on from Shanahan. And it would also be one of those things, like, say you guys were to do that, the GM and all them, like, they better have somebody in mind, like, almost in the wing and a pretty big name. It can't be like I don't know. It can't be like a Ken Dorsey, you know, type of shit. You know what I mean? It has to be like it would have to be like a pretty well established. Like, if you were to do that and then maybe like bring in Mike Vrabel, it's like, okay. I mean, at least that's a guy that's like a strong-minded head coach, and, you know, going to have a strong voice in the locker room, and he's kind of been proven in a sense, like he's been proven that he can lead a winning team. I know the Titans didn't win a championship, but he got him to like an AFC championship, has made some deep runs with the Titans and stuff. So
what do you think about like a Bill Belichick and the Niners? Do you think he could deal with John Lynch?
See, that's the crazy thing, or the interesting with Belichick, I think, in any organization that he would go to, is how long is this ride for? He's gonna, well, yeah, part of that is he likes to have GM control and whatnot. So I mean, he's going to need to be able to work with.
And he was what, like his mid-70s too. He's in his mid-70s too. So
that's my question: is how long is this for? You know what I mean? Because if you're only here for less than 5 years, or maybe 5 years or less, then like I don't know.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan's he's in his mid-50s, which is like not young, but for a head coach, he could be there for 20 years, another 20-something years, and And like I just feel like with him and John Lynch, they've shown the ability to do some things. The one thing I do want to bring up that I've seen in so much in my stuff is Trent Baalke and Jim Harbaugh. They focused on the defensive and offensive line. Like everybody was pissed when they were just drafting all the defensive linemen and all these offensive linemen, like and everything. But I mean, Thomas didn't work out, but Joey Bosa did. You know, do I think like DeForest Buckner is the one they should have paid instead of keeping Eric Amstrad because they both left anyway? And we got Hargrove in. Yes, I mean, there's just so many instances where I think our team fucked off on the trenches, and I think this year it showed because that's one thing for our team. We always were someone who just beat everybody up on both sides of the ball.
Can I ask, like, with with McCaffrey's new injury here, if it is something that bleeds into next season, say it goes to week 4, week 5, to where he'll be available to go, like, what is your opinion on him and the contract that he got? How eager are you to maybe try and get out of it, or are you here are you willing to take the bad with the good and live with any other injuries that may come along this season? Because it's becoming really a thing now.
I think he deserves one more year. I mean, he did show he could stay healthy for one more year, but I do think that Kyle Shanahan needs to understand, and it sucks now because we're probably going to lose Jordan Mason because he's a restricted free agent. So someone's going to want to pay him some money. Yeah. Someone's going to offer him some money. So now, do you pay 2, running backs that type of money? And I got to go back to what Detroit's doing right now, and the fact that Shanahan said we're only a one running back, dominates everything type of thing, and I'm like, why can't you have 2 running backs who are both, running 80 yards, maybe 100, whatever, they break one, and then come in the backfield, and then have McCaffrey in the backfield, square him out, do something in the slot. He's a better slot receiver than most slot receivers in the NFL. You know what I mean? Right. You have an RPO because that's the one thing Brock has shown that he can actually run out and do some things with his own feet. So that freaking play action is still there with Mason back there because he's a fucking bruiser. And if you bring Guendo to kind of just spell Mason or rotate to 3, then you have a 3-headed monster that no one else has in the NFL right now. So I've honestly been super disappointed with the way the team has been coached because on the outside, we have not been as prolific on the outside as we've been. Ben Ayuk was the one, man beater that we had, and then he spent all that time fucking fighting for a contract, and he came in, and he looked like shit. Quan Jennings looks like a fucking steal. Kittles has been hurt. Like, Trent Williams has been hurt. So, I mean,
and everybody's
getting say it that
too.
You know what I mean? Like our windows closed a little bit, and that jet sweep stuff that was so great for Debo back in the days and the bubble, whatever. Like teams, they know that it's coming, and they back off and they wait for it now.
They've come on to it, and I think. But I think maybe that's why the chatter's there as far as moving on from Shanahan, because his playbook has gotten maybe a little stale there. I think the message in the locker room's gotten a little old, a little stale.
But it's hard. It's hard to argue with like a couple NFC championships and a few Super Bowls. And to be honest, we were like a few plays away from the Rams, their Super Bowl, from probably winning that one against the Bengals, because I think we already beat the Bengals that year, and I think we would have beat him again. But I think that's what happens. It only happens to me. It happens when we drop fucking interceptions in the middle of the fucking field.
wherever he goes, if you guys were to let him go, I don't think he would be unemployed very long.
Oh,
So,
he'd be employed within about a half hour and getting $70,000 or $70 million somewhere else. Like,
right.
the guy would have got 5 years and $15 million. That's just you can't deny the fact that whatever you want to say about the Super Bowl he lost in Atlanta is one thing. The Super Bowl he lost the first year against the Chiefs in his last year. I mean, some things are even out of his control. Like that first fucking Super Bowl against Atlanta, that's craziest. I mean, Matt Ryan helped out as much as he could. Other people helped out as much as they could. And Jimmy Garoppolo was not the Jimmy Garoppolo was not the guy. So that's
yeah, it does. So, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, this Sunday will definitely be interesting. I'm very curious and eager to see how our team looks with the new head coach.
So, what are we doing for this Sunday? We gotta have some time.
Yeah. Like I said, we've definitely done a few beer bets already, but
you already lost those. You already lost those. You'll be 2 cases. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, we can do a Casamigos bottle.
I like that. Yeah.
So you're giving me like 10 points?
Fuck you. I might need 10 points. I don't know who the fuck's in my offense anymore.
You got a competent coach. You got a fucking a proven winning coach.
But you still have an offense. Like I lost my 2 starting fucking running backs, and I don't know who the fuck is even playing on offense anymore.
That's the good thing about Kyle Shanahan being a good coach. So he knows how to draft him well. He finds those hidden gems in the draft. So next thing you know, this guy that's going to be playing, he's going to bust off for like 130 yards. And you're like, oh, shit, this fucking guy. Yeah, I need to get this guy's jersey, Tim Huaka Mataka, whoever the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll just say some, like, I don't know. Just some.
Jim Huaka. Okay, well.
Yeah, straight out of Hawaii.
Jim Huaka. Tell Jim Huaka, like, you got a fucking bottle of Casamigos online. We'll go live with the 2 people who watch us and let them know that you lost.
All right. Well, we'll see. Obviously, see, you're so confident in that bet. It's a shame. You should be giving me points. It's criminal that you're not giving me any kind of points. So, you're taking advantage of a.
It's in San Francisco, but. Right now, I don't call that as a fucking.
See, home field advantage too. Jesus.
Well, Santa Clara, but
what am I doing?
You know what? It's better for you. You owe me a shot because it's at 1:00. You got to wake your ass up that early.
Yeah, I know. Thank God for that. So, but all right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Any final thoughts for our viewers there, fantasy wise? It's fantasy playoffs, like I said, coming up. Any last minute advice for the fantasy playoffs coming up at all for our people?
I always got to tell you guys every week, just check your goddamn fantasy before you go have your fun on Sunday, because, there's nothing like having someone in your fucking lineup who's a big old donut because they did not play because they were doubtful before the game and you did not pay attention to it. It's always going to be my advice. Pay attention, set your lineup, not just the night before, but pay attention to who's playing, upcoming into that time. It's just
if it's
the best advice I can fucking
decision. If it's a game time decision, set your alarm for an hour before kickoff, because that's when the actives come out, and you can make your moves there. So, but it's amazing. You're right. It's amazing how many times we see in our league too, where people end up starting somebody that is sometimes on a bye, and that's even more egregious. That's no fucking excuse at that point. But I guess life can be busy sometimes. So
it does happen. But if you're in the league and you spend the time to draft and do everything, listen, don't be a dumbass and fuck up a week that you could have won by fucking 20 and you lost by 2.
Right. Well, before I go, I want to give a shout out real quick, a few shout outs. Let me go ahead and get these team names up. So here at the Chicago Clubhouse Network, we do have a fantasy football league that we do here with some of our fans here and members of the Chicago Clubhouse Network. And we have 4 different divisions. We have our Moors division, Fantasy Jocks division, In the Zone, and Hughes. So shout out to the top teams in each division. We have I'm Him with a 10-2 record, best record in the league right now. And then at number 1 in the Fantasy Jocks division, a shout out to Chi-Town Mob with a 9-3 record, well on their way to the playoffs. And then we have Frank the Tank from the In the Zone division. He's one of our main guys on the Tuesday show, so he has a 9-3 record and looking pretty good. Yes, let the hate flow. And then lastly, in the Hughes division, we have Chicago Go.
It's only for this week. It's only for this week.
Mr. Chicago, that's another member of our Chicago Clubhouse Network.
Double boo.
He's got a 7-5 record lead in that division. So that was the Hughes division was the weaker.
7-5. What the fuck? Holy crap! I want to be part of that league.
And he's going to be making playoffs probably. You believe that shit?
Playoffs.
Yeah. We said playoffs. It's real.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I hope the Bears win a game too. This Sunday, I hope they win a game.
I want Jim one. I want Jim one. My fantasy took a beating this week. My team took a bigger beating. It's all horrible, but you know what? And then
thank you, Mom.
We're still faithful. We're still faithful. And I got faith. I'm gonna run your punk ass down to the other one. I'm gonna see you in the championship in the other league. So good times.
Yeah, okay. All right, man. Well, with that being said, thank you, like I said, to all our viewers there that tuned in. Thank you for hitting the like button and spending some time with us along with the Monday night game. If you guys haven't already followed us, please give us a follow on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. That's our biggest one that we really would like to help grow that one. If we can get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, we'll be able to do our live streaming there as well. So, but like I said, thank you, Mom. Like I said, I really do appreciate you tuning in. You the real MVP, Ma. You the real MVP.
I'm a controller.
So, yeah, Grandma C checking in, seeing what we're doing here. So, but like I said, follow us on TikTok, help us get to 1,000. And like I said, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up here. Share us to any friends that you know that play fantasy football. After that, it's up to us to kind of entertain them enough. But like I said, at least give us that chance there to kind of share and get our voice out to others out there. So, but like I said, guys, be good. But if you can't be good, damn it, at least be good at it.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
And now it's all over.